Coming up on this episode of SwingNation, we've got Dory saving lives, Do You Share Swing Music, and a new Lindy Hop movie from Sweden. SwingNation episode 13 starts now.
Hit that jive, close the door, get the carpet off the floor. SwingNation,
people grooving together.
Truck on down, pimp your stroll, put some jelly on that roll. SwingNation,
people grooving together.
Hello and welcome to Swing Nation, episode 13, lucky 13, for February. I don't know what date it's going to be.
It's actually March.
March. Oh my God, you're right. For March something.
You're losing time. Spuds.
Let's see. My name is Spuds. Just look at the lower third for the date. My name is Spuds. This is Zucker Punch. And over there is Rico Matic, former UN ambassador, right?
No.
You worked at the UN.
Sure.
That doesn't make him an ambassador.
Yes.
Former UN ambassador.
I was in the cafeteria, that's right.
You were not in the cafeteria. You did stuff at the UN, man.
I did.
Or maybe you don't want people to know.
That's true.
Sorry.
Hey, welcome to Swing Nation, where we talk about Lindy Hop and awesome things happening in the Lindy Hop community. We are so glad you're joining us for our show, and we want to give a special thanks to Jerry Almonte, he of the amazing trawler of the internets. Several of the things that we're going to talk about on today's show come from Jerry, and a few from, not from Jerry, actually, but we just wanted to thank him, and maybe we could just start giving them a little plug at the top.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. They have the word on swing, baby.
Oh, word on swing.
Well, I know it's a word, but I'm like, the word. That's like people get mad in San Francisco. It's not the Bart. It's Bart.
Bart.
It's not the Bart.
It's true, it isn't the Bart. Who says the Bart?
Well, Frank Delario says the Bart.
Oh, my God.
Well,
it's not.
We'll
Don't ever say that. You sound like an idiot.
Word.
Also, people who say San Fran.
Oh, don't go there.
Or Frisco.
Oh!
Anyway, in entirely other where we came. Whoa,
a word on swing.
Is freaking out right now. A word on swing. Jerry and Bobby, they had a music episode from Lindy Focus. You should check it out.
Definitely.
True story.
But just a warning, there's more than a word.
they have several words between them.
It really was just a word.
It's a word on swing.
Music.
Music. And that was a word on swing. Word on swing. Thursday. And that was a word on swing. No, but definitely check it out on the YouTubes. Go to the blog, look up a word on swing. It's a wordonswing.com. They have the URL. They have the sweet URL.
If they're smart, they have the URL.
The URL is right here, actually, on the bottom of the screen. That's how I cover myself.
Well,
anyway, check that out.
What's this other website that we wanted to plug?
Voices of the Jazz Era Ballroom. I am so absolutely gung-ho about this. Kelly Porter and colleagues created a site to archive remembrances of people from the jazz era. It's this crowdsourced history project, and oh my God, you guys have to read this. It's so good, just like the intro post about, briefly, history is always written by the winners, and in general in our history it's written by a bunch of white guys who have a lot of power and who write our laws, our stupid tax codes that gouge really good Century Ballroom.
Other show.
Well, I'm still pissed about it.
See if I can bring this up on the screen here.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead.
And I think this is Kelly Porter who wrote this. She says that we all consume and produce history intentionally or unintentionally in 100 ways. And as we arrange and make sense of it for ourselves, we decide what the world has been and what it can be. And she goes into why she's creating this Voices of the Jazz Era Ballroom as part of her thesis. And she says, as an experiment to see what kinds of meaningful history we can do together online, and a calling of attention to the everyday experience of jazz culture. I'm not going to read the entire thing. It's really well written, which is important to yours truly. And the things that she says are really great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we end up with out here. And one of the things that she's doing is using members of the community as researchers to unearth parts of our history that we currently aren't really showcasing. And so some of those are Christian and Jenny from St. Louis, sorry, I never say it right.
That's okay.
And they're really great resources. And our own Mike Tebow out of Rochester, who has this interview.
Thunderbolt, right?
Right. T-Bolt.
T-Bolt.
As he will never be called.
That was...
And
Kevin Mins called him T-Bolt. Sorry.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that members of our own community are in a position to help record history. I mean, I think the point is that we all are part of history, and we all make history by deciding what we pass on, what we don't say. But I really like those people that we just mentioned, so I'm really glad that they're like participating in something like this. JazzEraVoices.org. It's really well done. Check it out. This is your like homework assignment from Zucker Punch for the week.
So more than just check it out. It is a site that anyone can contribute to. So if you have access to somebody who was around and danced during the jazz era, or was a musician during that era, or just has something that they wanted to say about what it was like to do swing when they were growing up, then you can contribute their remembrance, take a video of them, or kind of take their transcript and post it on the site so other people can benefit. It's basically like, you guys know StoryCorps, where it's like the National Archives is asking people to just like say any kind of remembrance about their family member, where you interview your dad about what it was like, growing up, whatever.
Yeah,
you
like interview your dad about what it was like growing up.
Right.
That's how that works. Yeah.
So, but this is like our StoryCorps. So we have our own little resource that Kelly Porter and her colleagues have created for us. So we should go ahead and use it. And
it's awesome.
Contribute to it. So good stuff.
Read it. Do your homework.
Yep.
Professor Zucker Punch says so.
So speaking of awesome people,
speaking of really smart people
making a big impact.
Here we go again with these two.
We cannot.
Jesus Christ, Dory.
I cannot turn away from Dory and Summer without turning back, and they've done something else ridiculous.
Yeah, we just had them on the show at the end of last season, or we had Summer on the show because Dory was off traveling the world, like you do. And Summer was talking about some of the stuff that she's been doing, or that they've been doing lately. They were featured in the Baltimore Sun. And now, here comes Dory again, saving more lives.
Saving more lives.
He's been involved in a new piece of national legislation, the HOPE Act, which stands for HIV Oregon Policy Equity. And it creates a pathway for HIV-positive Dogan
Whoa!
Organ donors
Dogan
to give to HIV-positive patients who need organs, potentially saving thousands of lives. Oh my God. Dory, this is badass. This isn't the first time that he's contributed to legislative policy. It's just the latest in a long string of really great contributions to making the world a better place. And I think that this is an awesome one, and one that's overdue. And I'm really glad that members of our scene are making such an impact on the world. Yeah,
so you can go. We'll post the link on Yehoodi, but there's a link to the official government site, as well as some of the Congress people involved in introducing the bill. It's probably going to take a while to get through the legislative process, but just the fact that this is even happening is a huge deal. So, awesome job again, Doctor.
Yeah, go back and watch the last episode. I think it's episode 9, episode 10, episode 9. Anyway, with
at the end of last
also.
season.
Yeah, end of last season, like Zucker Punch just said. It's great.
So this next one is not so much a news story, it's just something that Jerry thought it would be good for us to talk about, and I think it is a big issue that I've thought a lot about. Which is the issue of sharing music with other Lindy Hoppers, and what are your own kind of personal ethics about when it's okay to just like hand someone a hard drive and say, hey, here's my entire collection, or, oh, could you burn a CD for me of that thing, or whatever. And I think as DJs probably you get that request more often than not. And I think we all have to navigate that ethical challenge individually. There's probably less issues about musicians who've been long gone, but maybe more issues if there's a contemporary band that are currently trying to sell their music and you're giving their music away to people for free. But I only see one DJ here at the table, so maybe I'll push it over to Spuds and ask him if you have any, what are your own ethics about when you would share music with somebody else who asked you for it?
I always give a playlist if somebody wants a playlist at the end of the night. I always tell you where you can get it. I don't agree in just giving music to people because that loses the discovery and the just the education in that. I've always been a proponent of like be a music lover, not a music consumer. A music consumer is someone who just wants to own it just because it's the hot new song and they'll look amazing to people out there because they played the hot new song, right? You can ask them, oh, well, who's playing sax on that? I don't know. Well, who's the backup band? What? I don't know. They have no clue. A music lover is someone who goes in and just loves music and will read. We don't get liner notes anymore, right? Because we don't have CDs anymore. But a real music lover will go to Amoeba or go to the mom and pop shop or go wherever or get them digitally and read about this music. I mean, I couldn't imagine I couldn't imagine learning as much as I did about music without just discovering the music on my own. Yeah. Right? I think you steal something from the person if you just give them the stuff. Now, there are sites that you can go on right now, like Spotify, like Pandora, like Rhapsody, all these other music sites that will. You don't need to own it all. You can go and you can listen and and you can learn about it and stuff like that.
I have to disagree with you on this one.
Disagree on which point?
Well, on 2 points. One, that we should all be music lovers, not music
No,
consumers.
I didn't say you should be music lovers. I honor the music lover because they will have more in-depth and insight about their music.
And I disagree about giving people music, and so I'll go into both of these. There's roles. There's a place in this world for people who are, oh god damn it, who wrote this book about the tipping point? Malcolm Gladwell. Mm-hmm. There are people who go out there and find the thing that's going to be awesome, like a hush puppy shoes, and then there's the people who are really good at spreading that information. The people who like tweet stuff all the time and are like the one that you get the information from. And then there's the like people who hop on board with the second generation of like Apple products because suddenly everyone's doing it. And I think that there's a role for each of those in music culture. So there's the people who like find the really hard to find stuff, or who like dig in there. For example, at the Elbow Room, the DJs there who get these really obscure tracks or recordings of tracks that we already know.
There's a soul night in San Francisco, where they actually play 45s.
Wow!
And these DJs are like amazing, and they pull out stuff that we've never heard before. And then there's the people who like distribute or who enlighten a lot of people about music. And that's people who are like DJs who travel around a lot. So like Peter Strahm, for example, introduced a lot of us to a bunch of soul music. And he's not the one who originally like found these tracks, but he's enlightening a broad audience. And then there's people like the rest of us who are just like, oh my God, the new cool thing. I love it. And I think there's room for all of that in music. And also, so I disagree about not giving people music because growing up, that was the only way that I found out about stuff. Not that like you'd give me a whole CD of an artist's work, but that who didn't get mixtapes and find out things that they loved from that? So you get a compilation that has like one track from the Sundays, and then you go, oh my God, I love this song. And then you go look up that artist, and you find more
what if
from
you don't,
yourself.
Though? My issue was with the people who just consume just for consuming. Well, my issue is specifically with DJs who, and I had this happen all the time, they will come up to you and be like, what song is that? And I'll tell them what song is it. Can you give it to me on USB? And I'd say, no, I can give you samples of it. I can give you 30 seconds of it. I number one, I want the artist to get paid.
Yeah.
I want the artists. My uncle wrote for the OJs and Patti LaBelle and stuff like that. If he existed in an era where people just gave the music away, he would not have any money. He'd be dead and a pauper. I'm talking about a quantity of like what we just said. It's a hard drive. Give me a USB stick of whatever. USB sticks can be huge. So I'm talking. There's a quantity of music that I don't agree with. I agree. I'll hand you a CD. Waxy. Remember Steve Wexler? Mm-hmm. He used to make this CD, Lindy Hits or something like that. Yeah. He'd give it out, and I have no problem with that. It had like 15 songs on it, full songs. That's fine. So I think we're kind of in the same boat, but I must ask you, do you agree with someone handing someone like 40 gigs of music saying, here, there you go?
No.
Yeah.
That much, no, I'm not on board with. But like, a mixtape's worth, like, 10, 15 tracks,
the
a
whole,
teaser.
Yeah, the
and
whole mixtape
even if it
culture
is a whole a whole song rather than 30 seconds of that song. Drug culture kind of has the right idea, right? Where the first hit is free. Wow. I'm just saying, like, if your product is a good one, they're going to come back for the rest of it.
What's interesting?
It's awful.
Sure.
But it totally works on me that, like you give me a song by this artist and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I've done that with let's say, Phoenix, a modern-ish band, or like Arcade Fire. You get like one song and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I need to have everything else that they've ever done.
And you will go steal it.
No.
You won't. Zucker Punch won't.
I get on iTunes.
But there are people who,
Okay, but then that's their prerogative. I've given them the song and the opportunity to explore this music. And how they go about it is their own prerogative, but I've just introduced them to something.
There's definitely a lot of there's a lot of different issues where music gets distributed through different channels, right? So there's the DJ's culture where DJs think that they can just like swap whatever that someone else has, and like that's cool, and like, oh, we'll be reciprocal. I have all this. Can you give me that? And I'll trade you all of my Django for all of your Billie Holiday or whatever. And then there's online culture where people are just like putting stuff on Dropbox, or just putting torrenting tons of stuff. And then there's also like teacher culture where I find like in a lot of classes, the teacher at the end of class will be like, and if you want some music to go home to practice to, I burned this CD for you, give me a couple of bucks, and I guarantee you that music is not going to go to that artist. That teacher has made that mix so that their students have something they can go home and practice to, which I think is probably a fairly common practice across all social dancing, and I have it in my house class where my house teacher will be like, here's a house mix, because I know you guys don't have this music and you're going to ask me for it, so here it is. So there's definitely a lot of issues with distribution and coming up with your own ethics that no one has really come up with the rules yet.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a teacher and you're giving away, or you're like asking people to like throw in $1 or $2 for a CD, then you're not really profiting from the music so much as recouping your costs and like actually creating that disc. Because unfortunately, you still actually have to pay for CDs, which I think is ridiculous because I don't actually own a computer that will play one.
Well, make no bones about it. There are all different camps. Now, I'm in the camp, personally, I'm in you young people got it too well. I had to go to school in the snow and the bare feet both ways uphill. I'm that kind of guy. I also am I'm a crate digger, right? And I need to know, when I got into soul music, I needed to know, what microphone Al Green used. I needed to know all this stuff. So I took it upon amongst myself to discover, so that my knowledge about the music would be deep and would be whatever. Make no bones about it, though, there are people who don't care. They just want the hot jam, and I'm not saying they're wrong. They just want to be able to rock this tune and be like, hey, I got this song and it's badass. And if I say, who is it, they don't know. It doesn't really matter. We don't live in an era now where I feel you need to steal, because it's so much stuff that's free already. You can go to any of these services and get it.
I don't know. There's still some music that like is not available online, and I'm like, for real? It's 2013. Like I don't have a computer that will play a disc, and
Yeah, but that's not the artist's fault. It's not their fault. That you
it's pretty cheap to get things online.
Yeah.
Like, and as far as like the cost of actually pressing a CD, it would save them effort and save me the frustration of borrowing Carl's computer in order to put it in a place where I can access it. And there actually is some music that you just can't get electronically.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I have a lot of it at home.
Yeah, and that's what Racetrack was saying in the chat, was like, if there was a scenario where it'd be okay to give someone music, it would be something that was, out of print and really rare and hard to get in any other fashion. It wasn't being sold anywhere.
Yeah, I'd be the biggest
That
hypocrite in the
would
world
kinda
if I said I never did that. Like there was blues something. Oh God, I just and Paul Overton played it like in 2004, and I looked for it, literally looked for it for 3 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I finally said, "Dude, and he gave me a copy. And so, but once again, I'm a standby. I loved Lindy Hop, so I dug deep and I found out who did it. And when I looked at clips and all that stuff, the guy next to me, maybe he loves Lindy Hop, but he only loves the dance. People in hip hop culture, they may like the breakdancing, but they don't want to know what the DJing was or the MCing was. So I understand that exists. So I'm just a deep diver, man. I need to get all in it.
Wow.
I know to go back to the previous show. Jesus. At any rate.
All right.
So we're not going to solve this issue, but I think it's an interesting one for everyone to think about. Ethics of when you share music and don't share music. It impacts every single scene for sure. This is another kind of issue topic that doesn't seem like it's related to Lindy Hop, but I still kind of think it is. There is this viral phenomenon that has been going on called the Harlem Shake. And it is...
What a segue!
I didn't know how...
So I've actually seen videos of, like, Carl sent me one of, like, Salesforce employees doing
it's a big
the
company.
Harlem
I think,
Shake.
like, Twitter has done it.
And there's actually a website that a coworker of mine showed me today where, like, components of the page, like divs, boxes on the page, are doing, like, the Harlem Shake. And I'm just... Really?
Yeah, so we're not going to show any actual Harlem Shake
videos.
But we did want to show what I think is super interesting, which is people in Harlem actually reacting to being shown for the first time some videos of people doing, quote-unquote, the Harlem Shake. So, yeah, let's check it out.
Is it me, or are the streets of New York so much cleaner?
They are.
Than so much?
It's not New York anymore.
We're messing it up with clean.
Oh my god. Oh. What? What the hell is this?
What? That's weird. That's weird.
What are they doing?
I mean, interesting. I just really don't think it's closely related to the original Harlem Shake.
She's so political.
But that ain't the Harlem Shake.
No, that's not the Harlem Shake.
It looks very different.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the original Harlem Shake.
But it's not the Harlem Shake like at all.
That's not the shake, me. Oh, no good.
This is not what the Harlem Shake is at all.
Yeah, that's just kind of bugged out. That's definitely not the Harlem Shake.
That's not the Harlem Shake at all. That's humping, and that's not the Harlem Shake.
They ain't not Harlem.
They're dry humping air.
I think they're
Right, it's not-
misinformed.
yeah.
They look like they just smoked some dust.
I feel like they're trying to disrespect us. They didn't live in Harlem. They don't come from Harlem. They come from a
Advertising.
strange planet.
It's making us look bad. It's an absolute mockery of what it was, because there's actually a sense of rhythm that goes along.
All right, well, let's leave it there.
It just kind of goes downhill from that point.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right?
That's awesome. Oh, my God.
Oh, so I don't know.
I actually went to Harlem.
So I think we only raise it because we're practitioners of a dance form that started in the African American community, and you could imagine like many other dances being shown to its originators and people having that kind of reaction. So
That's kind of my reaction to electro swing. you know,
Mm-hmm.
where there's like there's music that swings, and then you're like, I'm sorry, you think this is related? How?
Yeah.
So put that out there anyway.
No, she's right. I mean, I you know, it's not swing.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, I don't mean to be that guy. Anyway.
So I guess the difference is that if you were to show, like that Rock That Swing video or something, or if you were to show Sky and Frida dancing to African Americans now in the middle of Harlem and say, hey, check it out. Here's the Lindy Hop, which, you know, was innovated here in Harlem back and forth. Like, they would not be like, oh, no, that's like they might not have any idea what they were watching, right? Yeah. Because the dance has moved on and it no longer has like this strong African American presence. So that's kind of what's interesting. Although, like, for example, if you were to show them, hey, here's the Harlem Hotshots. Here's a group called the Harlem Hotshots. Let's watch them dance. Like, I don't know what kind of reaction they might have, since none of them are those people.
I just know when the Harlem Hotshots are in Harlem, they're called the Hotshots.
Really?
We're the Hotshots.
That's what they did. They just called themselves the Hotshots.
That's
anyway,
smart.
That's very smart. They're not. Wow. They weren't born. They were born on Tuesday, but it was the last Tuesday.
Speaking of the Harlem Hotshots
and Sweden. There's a transition.
Hey,
don't
look at
mention
me.
it. Don't.
I'm segueing.
You can't say it.
Oh, it's not as smooth that way.
Anyway, there's a dance movie. Yay! That's made in Sweden, taking place in the Swedish dance community of Lindy Hop, choreographed by the Harlem Hotshots. That's where that came in. David Dalmo from Bounce and Johanna Lind?
Sure.
Johanna.
From Kolberg. There's a trailer for it. And
in Swedish.
In Swedish. You can have it translated to English, though. And check it out.
Din fru Lisa ligger nu på neurokirurgiska intensivvårdsavdelningen.
Jag tror inte pappa vågar dansa.
Lisa ligger nu alltså i koma.
Lisa har varit otrogen med mig.
Vet du med vem?
Ja, det var någon hon dansade med.
Ja, vad ska du göra nu då?
Jag måste börja dansa.
Du ligger i baktakt.
Baktakt?
Alltså, du dansar mot pulsen. Du kan inte mena allvar, du kan ju inte hålla takten.
Hej, du ska inte stå och göra Charleston, jag sa improvisera.
Ja, det var första gången, jag var bara nervös.
Jag var feg, precis som du sa.
Måste du välja den sämsta killen på hela introduktionskursen?
Det här är ju lönnfet, det dinglar. Det är ju lönnfet.
Det är du som brukar komma hit och dansa med Kersti.
Har det hänt?
Now, I want you to feel the floor. Striking. You feel the floor? Feel it?
Är ni ihop nu eller är ni...
Spelar det roll för dig?
Någon är bortrest.
Okay, now the final test. Taste the floor. Taste it. Come on, taste the floor.
Få ut dina känslor. Få ut dina känslor, Jonas.
Gör du?
När man håller på som du gör så kan det ge konsekvenser.
Well, that seems like a production.
It looks like it's going to be really cool. And it may pass the Bechdel test. I want you guys to keep it in your brains when you go to watch the movie.
We cut it just before the dancing.
Well, there's dancing in it, and you can go see the whole trailer, so have fun.
Yeah, there's a question about whether we're going to get to see it outside of Sweden. So I guess they have to find some kind of international distributor or U.S. distributor for it to get over here. But if you're in Sweden and you get a chance to see it, I think it's coming out really, really soon. We would love to hear if it doesn't suck. Because I don't know, has there been a Lindy Hop fictional movie that was good
It looks
so
like
far?
it could be funny.
There, right?
Swing Kids?
Oh my god.
Okay, sorry. Tag.
I mean, Swing Kids was very formative in some people getting interested in Lindy Hop. So yeah, and there was like pedigree of people who were involved in choreographing that.
Swingers. There you go.
Oh my god.
Nailed it.
Seriously?
Oh my god.
We get.
Oh my god.
All right. We are running out of time. Let's jump
quick.
to...
Okay.
To that dude?
Can we do Marcus? Do we have time for Marcus? Or should we go to...
I don't know. You choose. Well, maybe we should make this an interactive show where we just choose which last video we have.
Maybe that other one can be like, we just watch it as the exit, outro, whatever that thing is. Yeah.
All right. Oh, you know what? Oh, here it is. So we're going to watch Marcus. Marcus.
We're not going to watch Marcus.
We're not going to watch Marcus.
We're going to watch a tribute to Marcus.
We're going to watch a tribute. Oh, see, I was asleep for that part.
So will someone tell me who
this
is?
Yeah.
So Marcus Koch and his partner
Barble. I can't
were,
pronounce
for me, very influential dancers when I was coming up. They came over from Germany and they were doing a style and doing some craziness that I had never seen before. So was super, super inspired by them. And then we didn't see them for a while. But I think for a lot of dancers, they were extremely influential. They came from a kind of a rock and roll background, so they kind of combined styles. And there's some videos of them online that are pretty formative for people. So here's some dancers doing a little tribute to Marcus Koch. If you've never seen him dance, this is, well, you're in for something.
Probably watched also. There's a YouTube clip of Marcus doing something called the Killer Boogie.
The Killer Boogie.
The Killer Boogie.
He's a boogie dancer.
Thank you.
Figure out why not make a little tribute to Marcus?
Not to be confused for the boog.
No. Boogie Woogie and boog are different.
Boog is Swedish.
Boog, double boog.
Oh.
Double boog.
We're now after
We should talk about that.
Right. There's that video that Jerry had.
Marcus did. When?
That other thing that he does, that we post videos of people who were dancing way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And by way back, I mean when I was 10.
in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
I was not 10 in the early 80s.
You're 18, right? Here
That
we go.
would make me like 40.
Not sped up, folks.
Wow. Marcus wasn't there, was he?
I don't know.
If you know if Marcus was there, let us know, people.
I am exhausted.
Okay, but seriously, all our videos are coming out of Europe.
Europe.
All of our videos belong to Europe.
Okay, well, we gotta wash that out with some Korean videos.
Well, I mean, like, and...
Oh, in America, sorry.
You know, that place that we live. I would expect
America.
us to be like, and not that we should be, but that we would end up being U.S.-centric. But the fact that we are, like, entirely overwhelmed by videos from Europe, it surprises me, and it makes me wonder whether we're picking our noses here. I mean, like, I know that there are instructors who are traveling and doing dance events in the States. I mean, obviously, because those are the events that we're going to. So why aren't we showing more videos of them?
Very good question. Unfortunately, we're out of time. No, we are really out of time. I don't know. I mean, you look back at the Harlem Shake thing. The people in Harlem like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that wasn't
That's gonna be us.
Americans dancing.
Yeah,
that was,
I know.
or not doing the Lindy Hop. That was Americans judging other people dancing.
Oh, well.
Anyway, well, maybe next time we'll have some content that's from America.
Here.
And we have one from here. Oh, wait, it's at sea. This is in international waters, right?
Yeah.
No, where was this one? Sea Jam.
Sea Jam Boogie.
Is that in here?
I thought we were going to show that as the outro.
That's with Frida and Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Frida and Frankie doing their thing.
And I'd only met him like 2 or 3 times, and the fact that he can have such a large effect on such a wide group of people, and most of us have barely had actual contact with him. Just a testament to like how much of a giving spirit he is.
Makes you feel
also
good.
Also a cheese
people.
ball. I don't know if anyone noticed that.
Yeah. Oh, I smell ham. And Frida also. Beautiful, beautiful.
It's still so nice to see.
So where's C-Jam, Rick?
It's C?
It's C, all right.
I don't know.
I was goofing with Rick because he doesn't know. I was telling him to look it up while we were watching the video.
Anyway, so that's all the time we have for our show this week. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you to Cafe Sophie for keeping us caffeinated with the delicious tea steamers. Oh my god, you really have to try them. If you're ever in San Francisco, go to Cafe Sophie, get their tea steamer. I mean, they also have other good things like coffee and pastries and...
Pasties.
Not pasties, pastries that are really good. Or so I hear, although I can't have them because I'm a glutard.
Oh.
But definitely check them out. They're, hosting us here, and it's wonderful. So they're at 3463 16th Street in San Francisco. Check them out. Thank you also to Casey McGill for the awesome theme music, which I still adore and always end up with stuck in my head. And thanks to Paul Marino for our awesome opener. You can get in touch with us if you have news that you want to contribute to the show.
What?
Or you want to tell Spuds that he's insane. You go ahead and do that. You can email us at news@yehoodi.com. You can reach out to us on the Facebooks at Yehoodi. On Twitter at Yehoodi, at Spuds, at Zuckerpunch, at Recomatic. You can call us with that crazy telephone device at 201-984-SHOW. That's 201-984-7469. So, I'm Zuckerpunch.
Oh, yeah, that would make me Spuds, wouldn't it?
And I'm Recomatic.
Thanks for checking out Swing Nation.
See you in a week.
See you guys.
Bye.
Swing Nation, people grooving together.